Today I will talk about Satva Raja Tama, three Guna or three qualities, as it covers significant details of the origin of the universe, as described in Sankhya, Mimamsa, and multitude of Hindu scriptures and Hindu studies. Uh, so it will not be possible for me to cover everything in one episode. So there will be at least 4 episodes on these 3 qualities and how 3 qualities control everything in the universe and how we can model a grand unification theory or model of the universe based on these 3 qualities. So before I start discussing or get into this Satva Raja Tama, I would like to tell that the most favorite scientist that whom I respect is John Archibald Wheeler, and he is the person who said in 1919 that the geometric shapes are transforming, and that is actually creating everything in the universe. It's called the geometrodynamics. I'm a big fan of that particular theory. However, since it is in the same space and time, it makes several mistakes. I am a firm believer that universe is nested within and above. That is a non-Turing universe, a kind of a fractal tape where we have only one cell and you go within, or above. That means I am part of the whole, that I am also whole of the parts within. So that's very much a Vedic or a Hindu concept, how they see the universe. So Wheeler suggested in 1989 that we are observers. We are observing many different things in the universe, right? So that is it, and we that is bit actually 0101 or something like that, or whatever be the information, how we define it. And then we infer some conclusions and outcome. We observe with our eyes or different kind of various kind of sensors, radio astronomy sensors, quantum tunneling measurement systems, whatever. So we generate it from bit. So this is the phrase, it from bit. And does it express reality? Because I observe something and I say, how did I observe it? I tell all my friends. My friends listen to them. And then they observe in the same way I observed. And all of them said, yes, Anirban, the way you saw it, a similar way, if I say it, then it is correct. So that is called reproducibility or verification in science. It is absolutely wrong and a very faulty practice, this reproducibility that we argue, because a particular phenomenon happening in nature should be observed completely different perspective with completely different methodology, and various different kind of methodology should say the same thing. Only then we can say that is the scientific truth. However, that doesn't exist. That didn't exist in the 1900. Even we are in the 21st century. We don't have that practice. So we always follow the experimental protocols prescribed by a particular scientist, and then we say it. So he suggested that, okay, if at the beginning of the universe there was nothing, so it was just a single wave function, right? Just a quantum wave function. And then there was nothing outside. So when this particular wave function psi created many probabilistic distribution due to quantum vacuum fluctuation or something, and then became complex, there is no chance that entanglement should be broken. So there are scientists and groups who believes that entanglement is not even broken, that started during the time of Big Bang. And then what is right, what is wrong, we don't know. We just respect all possible views about the origin of the universe and doing practice of doing science, protocols that different people follow, and we just learn them and like an observer, and we go. However, being an observer is a big problem, is a big curse, because when we observe, then we change what was not just in the present, but also in the past. You know, perhaps that is quantum, that is called quantum entanglement. So one of the many people think that, okay, if I have two particle entangled, if I take too far away, then if I know the state of one, then I will be able to tell the state of the second. So that is very popular journalistic version of very primitive idea of quantum. The fact is, when you observe a particular state, then you can tell in the past when they were separated from the single source origin what was there, and you can tell a lot of things about that past. So by changing this, you also govern the past. So so this becomes very dangerous. Now what happens? So we all observe anything and everything around us. Say 8 billion people in the planet is looking at something, measuring something, observing something at every single moment. And you are recreating your past. Is it? So this hypothesis he called as participatory universe model. So it means you are by observation, by different sensors that are produced, all part of the universe, they are observing and recreating itself. So this is another way universe is rebuilding and reoperating itself. Isn't it beautiful that universe creates conscious machines or conscious life forms or many sensors all around the world and all around the universe, so that it sees itself, and by seeing that, it modifies and it creates the fluctuations, and that allows system to run. Basically, what Wheeler wanted is a self-operating mathematical universe, SOMU. So he didn't say it, but we proposed SOMU, but following a very different, unique kind of concept, where just like quantum, that if the property originates together, multiple different particles are entangled or are coupled together, and then they create it together. If I take them far away, they remain. So this is the fundamental picture of the universe, and at every atomic scale, the same thing is happening. And I am a big fan of quantum mechanics. I love quantum mechanics. However, as I said that Heisenberg, I made a mistake in the first video. I said that Schrödinger came to Calcutta and went to Santiniketan, not Schrödinger. It will be Heisenberg. Somebody corrected me, and I thank you for that. Of course, I can make a mistake, and since we are discussing about Hinduism, everybody can challenge everybody, and then that is how we learn. It is not a religion; it is a way of practicing science, doing science, and we will see how it is very different than the current practice of doing science and the different aspects of it. So I would like to read out Sankhya written in 14th century, much before quantum mechanics was described, and I would like to read out a particular hymn or commentary, they call it. This commentary is something like Parichinna matavha matra deshika bhava pratijogita vachita kava chinna matram tada bhavesha vyapakatram. So Parichinnamatrabha is like space, time, and conditionally localized. And matra means degree, deshika means localized, bhava means context, pratiyogita means competition, vachita means derivation, derivation of competition here. Kava means cover, chinna matra means if you try to tear it apart. The tada bhavesha, that concept too, that concept also Vyapakatra is globalized. So it means it in a local place. They were talking about three qualities that created the universe according to Sankhya Darshan and Mimamsha and all the Hindu scriptures that is there. You can say that is the foundation of Hindu science or Vedic science. And so it suggests that even if due to competition, between multiple different contexts or contextualities, if they fight together, and then they are integrating with each other, and then if you take them apart, far distant in the universe, you globalize them wherever you take, they remain one and united, never changes. Isn't it exactly something like quantum mechanics? I don't know why people didn't pay attention to this particular thing, but you can see the properties of Satva Raja Tama, where I mean, several times for thousands of years that this has been told. So what is Sattva, what is Raja, what is Tama? So I take 15th century, and then I will get into 20th century, 21st century, how Hinduism evolved, and then it changed the concept. In later some episode, I will go through how over 6,000, 7,000 years, Sattva, Raja, Tama, this fundamental, these three property concepts of these three properties got changed and evolved, and how it has come to. But today, I will practically concentrate on 15th century to 20th century, 21st century, because there are beautiful things I would like to bring it to your attention. So now you see that when I was a kid, and then I was to get up every day 3 minutes before 6 o'clock every day, and also then later I changed to 3:30 or 4 a.m. early in the morning, every day 4 a.m. So now I would say that whenever I was to get up, immediately I get out from the bed. So my mother used to say, I used to jump from the bed. My mother used to say, you are Raja Guna. So you jump. It's always like a transformation. You do the positive things, but why do you jump so much? It should be natural. You just go out. So that is Sattva Guna. And if you keep sleep, and sun goes up, and then everybody has woke up in the morning and then started their work, and still you are in the bed, then you are Tama Guna. So this is kind of a very deformed definition. Even 30, 40, 50 years back, Sattva Raja Tama Guna was considered something like Raja Guna is transformation. Transformation means you change from one, you totally redefine yourself, like triangle becomes square, become pentagon or something like that. Tamaguna means bonding, any type of bonding. That's not bad, because if there is no love, there is nothing. If there is no bonding, then universe would not have created. So bonding is the integral part. Bonding takes different form. For an example, I have competitive properties, and then I take it out and go far away, and then we can say something like quantum entanglement. I mean, in Vedic rishis told a very different thing, that not a single moment is passed when Sattva Raja Tama Guna is not evolving together. So I will get back to that, but just for a moment I explain Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna means whenever you are in one loka or one universe, as I said in Hinduism, there is loka or universe where you can see and measure everything, and then you go inside. Say I go inside my atom, and then is a whole different universe, and whole different things are happening, and then other go. And then I am part of another big universe. So you can see that Laika, when the NASA spaceship went far away, and then Earth was not even a dot. Our galaxy was just like a dot. So imagine that kind of thing would have happened. So we are nobody, nothing in this vast thing of the universe. So when we are just tiny particle of the universe above, and then and I have a universe within, and we want to make a journey through different universes, then whatever we see, whatever we measure, is not from this universe. There are many different universes above and then below. There is an infinite series, an astronomical series that is generated. So I am seeing a triangle, but it's not triangle. Maybe triangle, and inside every corner of a triangle there could be another triangle. Inside those triangle, every corners of those triangles there could be another triangle. So it could be a massive endless fractal network of geometric shapes. So that could be and we go to the infinity and see everything sarva chara chara vyaptam, and then observe, take the feedback to us, and then we measure, and we consider that as the fundamental state. So that is called Sattva Guna. Or we say that everything that happens naturally, when you become sannyasi, sannyasi means sama rupe nyas, uh, who nyashi, or who sees everything equally. So it is not just equally, you see everything in its own characters, but you see everything. So everything word is the most important part of it. So you have to feel or sense the whole inside something. Even if you want to see, say this tiny pen, you have to see all the perspectives of this, and then you see this pen. So you do not see it as is, then you do not see the truth about the pain. So that's the kind of sattva. If you can understand, sattva is incomplete. Raja is incomplete. Transformation alone cannot give you anything. Bonding cannot alone give you anything. So that's why they came up with a concept that there should be a circle. And the circle is kind of, you can say, Rita. Rita is the fundamental property of the universe. So according to Rig Veda, in Rig Veda, they mentioned it 390 times. So, why? Because it's a fundamental property of the universe to bring it back to the initial point. So nothing comes back to the initial point, but it always tries to. Of course, it's a spiral that forms, but we write it in the projection form. A stereographic projection of a spring would be, say I put a torchlight on the back side of the spring, then the light goes to, light falls and creates a ring on the wall. And that ring is actually the Rita. So that means universe has everything and anything in the universe has the property to come back to the initial point. So trying to complete a loop, and trying word is very, very important, because in Hinduism or Vedic science, you never say anything absolute truth. Nothing can be truth. So they say Sat and Asat. Sat means surviving for a longer period of time. Asat means surviving for a shorter period of time. Every single thing that you make a statement will become false when you see it for longer time. Our whole existence is nothing when we go very, very far. Einstein will be nothing when you see a million years of human history. So just longer time, all truth becomes unimportant, redundant, unnecessary to the universe. So that is the concept of truth and false in the Vedic science perspective. So now when we have Rita, so we have the circle, and on top of that, the three circles are there. So one is Satva, Raja, Tama. When they three are equal, then we call it Prakriti. So Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha means, as I told you, that according to Sankhya Darshan, they are just like me. They were atheist, and they challenge the existence of God, just like I don't believe in the existence of God at all, and absolutely non-religious, and they also the same. And then they thought that they proposed, and for thousands of years this exists. Many versions of Sankhya Darshana exist all over India. The Hindus have evolved, and then they discussed about it, because as it is, as I said, that if you do not evolve with time, then you have a problem, because you don't exist. It is not truth at all. It's false. It has to be false. Every single statement that is made has a time, and after that time, that will be a false statement. So Sankhya Darshan evolved, and Sankhya Darshan continuously agreed that there are some integers, numbers, and their patterns is creating the universe. However, they say there are geometric shapes, and there are something else we will come into in today's discussion. So this is a very complex situation, how exactly from nothing the universe got created. So I have a property. I understand that the universe has got a property. Universe has got integers. Universe has got geometric shapes. But how do they come together? So when we proposed a self-operating mathematical universe, then we said that 3 dimensions of space, 3 dimensions of time, 3 dimensions of morphogenesis or geometric shape transformations, and 3 dimensions of primes. So primes could come together and form various kind of patterns, knots, and whatnot because of the restrictions. And if we have these 12 dimensions, then first 3 dimensions, that is space-time, that is 3 dimensions of space and 3 dimensions of time, is like Prakriti, and 3 dimensions of morphogenesis and 3 dimensions of primes. The 6 dimensions, 50% of the whole the dimensions, is Purusha. So Purusha Prakriti duality, that is Kapila Arushi Tattva, Maharshi Kapila and then Arushi, they put together this theory that how universe got created. However, that doesn't explain, and today we are not going to dig into the Kapila Arushi hypothesis and the theory that they proposed about the origin of the universe. So we will get back to them much later. So we take Rita, and there are 3 circles. So Satva, Raja, Tama. One is Tama is bonding, Raja is transformation, and Sattva is taking feedback from infinity. So the 3 fundamental properties, they shrink and expand, sink continuously. Not a single moment is passed. So I would like to read out the beautiful hymn that was written 600 years back, and that says, Parinamasya bhava hi guna. Parinamasya means outcomes, context. So you don't observe. So observation based science, which is fundamental in the Western science, and we also do in our research. All the scientists are doing the same thing. They're observing something and then taking inference out of it. So observation was proposed in Mimamsa and others, but that observation is a very different kind of observation. Liberation and Sankhya induced observation. So observation as is, when I just send some pulse and take the output from a system, that kind of measurement we are not talking about. So in Vedic science, you never do measurement. You always look at something, and I say with my Satva Raja Tama, my 3 guna, my 3 qualities, 3 circles of different sizes, your 3 cycles of different sizes, how do they come together? And you make a combination of those SRT, or we say Sattva S, R, Raja, T. So I will say SRT, triplet. So why? Because it will be much easier for me to explain. So SRT patterns that I create and SRT pattern that Pain create will come together, and it will be located in my host guest system. And then something will transform, something will make a bond, and something where there will be feedback from infinity. And that is what is equivalent of measurement in Vedic science. So slowly you have started to understand that how SRT comes in. So SRT is not enough. So as I said, Parinamasya bhava hi guna. So you see that this kind of transformation, bonding, and this is where the guna or the qualities SRT lies. However, there was another thing, that na parinamasya shanama pyavati shante. That is when if not a single moment, shana means khan in Bengali we say. So that is kind of a moment. Ma means no, and pyavati shante, that means doesn't pass. So every single moment and everywhere. So Vyapakatram, I said, globalize. So everywhere, at every single part, there are gunas or 3, this kind of things, qualities. So there are 2 questions. That is, how does this qualities then made of? They come from Rita, Satva Raja Tama, I understand. However, they get these properties, no? Properties to transform, and properties to bind, and then properties to take feedback from infinity and generate an infinite series. How does it happen? So there were many discussions that how can it happen. So there was a concept called tanmatra. Tanmatra means it is the fraction of quality or guna, and then this fraction or quality, there are many tanmatras, and you can deconstruct sattva into a very unique structures. You can deconstruct Raja into a complex architecture, and then Tama into complex architecture. When I say complex architecture, architecture of what? So as you know, that all these three guna, Satva, Raja, Tama, these properties and everything should be in Prakriti, right? It's Prakriti's guna. Whose guna? Whose quality? Prakriti's quality, not Purusha's quality. However, when you deconstruct Satva, deconstruct Raja, and deconstruct Tama, all three have some elements of Purusha, because the 3 dimensions of morphogenesis and 3 dimensions of primes, that the 6th dimension or 7th dimension to 12th dimension, this kind of dynamic features has to be blended in while creating Sattva, Raja, Tama. Otherwise, you can't build them. You can't have the non-physical reality part, and without non-physical reality part, nothing is true. And however, I would like to say that the real universe is never created by Prakriti. Prakriti is not the real universe. It is the ideal one, because Sattva, Raja, Tama are equal, but they expand and contract. When they expand and contract, the derived universe that you get, because following the pattern of integers or primes, we can say, a different kind of architecture of Samkhya is built, which we call temple-like architectures. And those architectures actually, there is another concept, that is Kala Chakra. I told earlier also that in Hinduism or Vedic science, there is no linear time; it's a circular time. So basically, time has to be a clock-like thing. So imagine different kind of sizes of spheres or balls, clock architectures, and that has to be the Kala Chakra system to represent any spatio-temporal dynamics that you have that you observe in the world. So now this clock architectures, if you go to a single pixels or other things, you will find SRT, that is Sattva, Raja, Tama. The clocks will also extend the properties of Sattva, Raja, Tama. Sattva, Raja, Tama, you have to understand that they applied everywhere. Like sattvic food, you have heard about it. That sattvic comes from sattva. So you will softly touch the vegetables. You will not do steaming, that is tama, tamasic food, and a lot of spices together. You should never add, that is rajasic. So most of the part of India, you now see rajasic. So from dance, music, you should have some rhythms that is very slow, long going, and that is sattvic, and very fast beat or something like that, that is rajasic. And then when you have not very slow, not very fast, medium something, that is tamasic. So nothing is bad or good. We put this quality everywhere wherever we see. So for 5,000 years, there has been a very complex, vast history. That's why I said that on the first day, I will not get into all those details. So I will say something about tanmatra, but and then what are the composition of elements, a little bit. But I will concentrate only on how this tanmatras came together, or the elementary composite forms came together to build Sattva, Raja, Tama. Later in some other episode, I will get into the details of the constructive structures of Sattva, Raja, Tama. So they will have Kala Chakra like architectures on each of them, and each clock or each clock systems, what we call polyatomic time crystals. So those will have a very particular property and physical significance. So it's a journey inside the spatio-temporal architecture or clock-like architecture, or Kala Chakra of Sattva, Kala Chakra of Tama, Kala Chakra of Raja is a massively complex journey. And on the first day, I do not want to do that. So what I would do is just to give you a very simple glimpse. For an example, one of the basic clock that makes Sattva, Raja, or Tama is avyakta. That means unexpressed. So it has some properties. So they are called avyakta. One of those, it has many other clocks inside. One of the clock is a dravya, and then dravya, are three different colors. You know, Maharshi Kapil, he introduced actually worshipping God in Hindu civilization. Why? Because people were getting blind and believing in supernatural forces and something. They wanted to stop that. So to stop that, worshipping God started. Why? Because you create something, you give prana pratishtha, you give birth to the god, and then after the puja, you do ghataskhalan, from which you just remove. So basically, humans create the god. That's why they came up with the concept of avatar. So many things, so many concepts they created. So one of the greatest contribution was a combination of three different colors. So do you remember anything? Quantum chromodynamics. Yes, George Sudarshan was the creator. He didn't get a Nobel Prize. That's very unfortunate. But George Sudarshan from Kerala, India, he was a big fan of this Sankhya Darshan, and he, of course, just like me, probably he was also an atheist, and these color combinations, they come together. That's why you'll find the Hindu gods, even now, they have this yellow color, black color, or red color, or this kind of three different colors they combine. So you know, color is one of the fundamental properties of elementary particles, and you construct quarks, and then quarks remain inside to create the further higher level three phase 12 12 12 elementary triplet of triplet elementary combinations are there. So we will get into this dravya, and how dravya constitutes philosophically, and how much that influenced George Sudarshan. And George Sudarshan himself wrote, so we don't have to hypothesize anything. He wrote how he created quantum chromodynamics from the Vedantic concepts and the Sankhya. So um, so uh, hmm, so Purimitra, Abhipitra, and different tanmatra. So how they came together, I will discuss later. So today, before I end, I would like to discuss about a beautiful thing that was fantastically written by Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, the first president of India. He was a great philosopher, and he talked about Sankhya Darshan, and he wrote a book named Indian Philosophy, and in page 265 you will find this particular discussion which I would like to share. So you know that Hindu religion and Chaucer game or chess, these are very fundamental to Hindu religion. Why? Because of Sankhya Darshan. So you know, there is a dice, and then in Harappa excavation they found hundreds and hundreds of dice. So they used to play Chaucer, or they used to play Ludo. Currently, you know, in India they call it Ludo. So it has a cube, and six sides of the cube has six different dots, pointing that they have different numbers. However, each number signifies certain things, and when you shake that chakka or the dice, and then you put it on the board, one of the six numbers come up, and so that's how you create it. So Radhakrishnan, when he was explaining, he said it very beautifully. So the number one point, when you have a dot, it represents location, space. Then you have number two, it's called order. It signifies order or symmetry of the system. And number three is grouping. Grouping means which symmetry will come together. So you know, many body system. Many body system, in current science we say two body system, basically two particle system. What if there are three particles? What if four particles? What if five particles? So five particle system together, one unit. So when we created a phase prime metric to mathematically represent Purusha, so we created integers, and then vertically we created different kind of probabilities, compositions. So we create we decompose an integer in terms of primes, like 6, 2 into 3, 3 into 2. So 3 could be three body system, two body system, two body system, three body system. So either you can take two body system 3, or you can take three body systems 2. to create 6. So in this way, Sankhya Darshan included the many body theorem, because many body system Hindus had to include because of avatara concept and many other concepts. In current science, they don't have to, they don't need to, because they accept, they take observation based science. So I'm measuring this pain, and then if there are some discrepancies from the actual value or theoretical predicted value, then we take another term, another term, another term, another term from the theory and experiment and try to match. This is the practice. However, Vedic rishis had a problem. The problem was that they couldn't bypass taking 3 as a single unit, 5 as a single unit, 7 as a single unit, 11 as a single unit. They had to do this because they were creating a Satva Guna, the structure of infinitesimal journeys. And they created number system, as I said, and one day I will spend one episode on how they created number system. They created the number system to expand the consciousness. So they start from whole, that is 0, then 1 becomes the first observer. That's why they write it from whole to the point. So even now in Bengali, we write 1 like this. So how do you write the integers that actually tell how you will address consciousness or different integers? So each of the 9 integers had a significance. So they were forced to take 3, 5 as unit, because another reason was they were trying to explain the origin of the universe. And then the hypothesis was Jat Pindate Tat Brahmande. Jat Brahmande Tat Pindate. That means if there is a point, there should be a universe within. And then wherever there is a whole universe, there should be a point. So if you want to go from point to universe, counting is the only thing. And you have already hypothesized that the number is everything in the universe. So whatever I am seeing is Maya. Whatever I am measuring is Maya. So 3-dimensional space, 3-dimensional time, whatever they do, everything is Maya. There can never be reality. You can never get to reality. And that was kind of a fundamental basic premise of the Vedic science. So basically they reject everything that you observe, do measurement, and conclude all these kind of things. So they already went. So that's why 3 body, 5 body, 7 body, and then all you integrate together. And so number 3 of the dice represents this kind of many body systems or grouping of all possible grouping of the system, which we call order factor. So that's why we came up with the concept of order factor metric to represent number 3 of the dice. Then number 4 is mixing. So normally we say the moksha or liberation. That means everything is connected to everything, right? In the spatio-temporal world. However, when you transform your body into a sensor or something like that, and then you are able to see the real signals that are transferring and all over the world or all over there, because like bat is communicating with ultrasound. Now I cannot hear it, but I can transform myself to hear the sounds of the bat. So if I expand the horizon or the boundaries of my sensors, then once I will be able to check many different things, and I might be able to see the Purusha, the 3 dimensions of morphogenesis, 3 dimensions of primes, 6 dimensions, which is beyond moksha. And so that moksha, when it comes, then different things become independent. So that is the beauty of consciousness, because first time everything is connected to everything, but it gets some independence to take its own views and then explore the morphogenesis and the prime, this universe. So that kind of liberation, when happens, then you can't have ordering. So what was allowed in number 2 is not possible. So you have to go for mixing. So number 3 is mixing. Then, you cannot go for grouping. So you have to come for mixing. Mixing is number 4. So when in dice, you have number 4, that is mixing. In number 5, it's separation. So, bonding and separation is a thing that is foundation of tamaguna. So you can say that, okay, you are doing cheating, you are putting separation or bonding or something in number 5. So if you say, then you are already including some feature of it. Of course, there is little bit, but we will get back to that problem, that issue, because what we want to define, we want to create Satva Raja Tama. Some of those features in elementary scale, I cannot put it in the dice, right? And then that will not be a fair thing. So separation of uh, separation of the entities, of the clocks, or the groups. So that is the idea. So how does it happen? That is, either when you mix them together or eternally bond in the grouping. So either you have some contextual correlations, or physical correlations, that is grouping and then mixing. So mixing and grouping are completely two different fundamental things. However, when they are there, you have to conceptually isolate them, distinguish. So it is not a physical isolation, it's kind of a conceptual isolation by which you can distinguish. So you can say that number 5 is distinguishability. So distinguishability means you can say it's somewhat like the ordering. Of course, different kind of symmetries, and different kind of symmetries means, and that's the distinguishability. However, when there is a composition of symmetries, then you have some higher order symmetries or hierarchies based on which you can distinguish. So that's kind of feature is number 5. And number 6 is eternally existing essentials. So that is some elements of the Purusha, that is the mathematical patterns, some unique features of the mathematical patterns, maybe some dominating primes in the ordering, and then something. So this kind of bank, the invariant banks that are derived from the Sankhyas pattern of primes, that comes as number 6. So you play Ludo in India, and you put a cylindrical box, and you put the dice, and you shake it, and then you put it on the board like a roulette, and then you think that you are doing this, but they actually thought they were doing that. And that's why 64 board, 88 cross 8, it was created. 64 yogi and 64 yoginis. Kala Chakra was created by Vairava. So that's why Vairava, Rupa, Nataraja, you have heard all this, how chess came, how concept of chess came. 64 yogi and 64 yoginis came from 2 to the power 2 to the power 2 to the power 2 to the 2 to the power 5 is, and then finally at 64 you start seeing the asymmetry. So as you understand that that dice has a philosophical thing. So Radhakrishnan explained it beautifully in page 265 of Indian philosophy. You can have a look at it. So now what happens is you have dice, and this dice, you put it on the board, and what happens is, due to probability 1 by 6, one of the surfaces come up, and those properties come out. So free will, or the combination, what kind of properties will come with what, that you actually and we appear it as a different property for the samsara, that is 3-dimensional space and 3-dimensional time, that is the world of Maya. So there you see it differently, but actually somebody is playing dice. So who is playing the dice, and why the dice is coming from? So again, the question comes from Rita, when we have only one property that we are trying to get back, and then when we go to Purusha, and then we try to implement a loop-like structure or geometric morphogenesis, then we can derive all these 6 fundamental properties from Purusha. And those 6 fundamental properties, this you take multiple. So each dice, when you cast it, see, you are casting a dice, that is, you are creating a tanmatra, unit of Guna, of Satva Raja Tama. So Satta is made of, say, 24, 23, 26 different kind of Guna, or tanmatra. So Satva, Raja, Tama, each of them 26 different constituents they have, 23, 24, 25. Each constituent is made of dice. So somebody is casting dice. Who is casting dice? Purusha is casting dice. So Purusha is casting dice, and because Purusha has only one property, that is because it wants to be a point. Because Jat Pindate Tat Brahmante, so it wants to be a point, so it created a loop. So that is how Rita was born, from Purusha's desire to become a point and then remain as a point, an undefined point. So now Purusha's desire gave birth to Rita, and that loop came, and because of that loop and morphogenesis, so there were several properties, 6 different properties were born. So we get dice, and you cast dice, say tanmatra, or unit of any quality is born. So 20, say 23, 23, 23. So this Satva Raja Tama, three parts, and then you start with this quality. Now this is a journey. So point, normalization of the point, becoming a point, undefined. So Rita is born because it becomes a loop, circle, so it becomes remains a point. And from Rita and morphogenesis and the pattern of primes, when you add the property of loop, and then you find many different kind of loops are coming together, integrating together, and dominating in the universe. For an example, if you take the ordered factors, which ordered factor is the maximum occurring in the universe, you will find 9. That is triplet of triplet, you will see everywhere. Then number 2 is 55. So 5 and 11 is dominating. 2 to the power 5, 32 or 64 is again next to dominate. So there are 15, 16 different kind of combinations of primes or symmetries which are dominating in the universe. So they come together, and when you cast the dice, they express, and this is how 6 different kind of symmetries born. So another is coming from helical pathway. So if you send an energy or something and then helical pathway, you will find sum of the wave functions and product of the wave functions. The sum of the wave function means interference, and it constructive destructive interference, and there will be phase relationship, dasa, we say dasa avatar. So dasa is always phase, because I am reality, A and B, 2 objects are reality, and these 2 objects are reality, and they are entangled. That means in an imaginary world there will be some space-time architecture. So what we concluded today is that quantum universe that gave us concept that if there is a competitive properties and we take them far away, their property remains same. So that concept is there regarding Satva Raja Tama, and Satva Raja Tama is made of many tanmatras, elementary gunas, elementary qualities, more elementary qualities, and each elementary quality of that is made of casting of dies, and that was Lakshmi and Narayana always play in 24/7, because they have to play 24/7, 365, because the Guna used to say in the 15th century that not a single moment is passed when they are not playing this dice. So dice has to be casted. And then this dice has 6 sides, and 6 sides has 6 significance, and those significance actually coming from Purusha. So Purusha's that property is coming from Rita coming from the way it wants to be undefined. Finally, everything is forming in the universe, because Jat Pindate Tad Brahmande, Jat Brahmande Tat Pindate. Where there is a point, there is a universe, and where there is a universe, there is a point. Thank you very much.